Creating content, trying to get followers is not going to pay your rent. Money will. Today, I'm showing you 17 proven ways to monetize YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, turning those views into actual income. Now, I've been able to figure this out through my own personal brand, through working with businesses for 8+ years in marketing, and through running multiple faceless accounts. I failed more times than you can imagine, but this has allowed me to build and understand the best ways to turn this into income. Whether you've just posted your first video or you've been doing this for a while, stick around because throughout this video, I'm going to be sharing examples for every single one. And just one idea or one example could change your perspective, which in turn could change your life. Let's jump into it. Phase one is the native platforms. Now, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, they can pay you. But we're going to discuss this in a different way. Let's look at this video right here from my channel. Now, this is a video that I did a while ago, how to start selling digital products, which is a great video. It's around 100,000 views. In this time, it's earned me around, as you can see, $900. Now, $900 is obviously a lot of money, but 100,000 views is probably worth a lot more than that. So I've made a lot more, not from the AdSense. This is the same principle for any platform. If you have an Instagram account, you have a TikTok account. Often I see people caring so much, but in reality, how I like to look at it, this is something to reinvest into your business. The true profit comes from being able to turn it into a business engine, which is what this whole video is about. So don't fixate yourself on things like this. Suddenly something happens, your views dip and your business is gone. Okay. And super important for us to understand this. Once we start relying on income from views, we start relying on views, and that's a volatile market and also unhealthy relationship, in my opinion. There's nothing worse than chasing views long term. Okay, it's not going to be good for your mental health and so many other things. Let's look at the latest YouTube update where it demonetized AI content. And if you were running one of those channels, then suddenly, boom, loss of income. If you're on the TikTok creator program, suddenly something changes, boom, you lose money from the views. That's not how people are making money. They're making money from all the methods that I'm about to explain. We want to own our business. We want to be in control and be able to predict how much we're going to be making each month. That's why this video is so important. Phase two is what I like to call the smart phase. Now, this is important because this is where we choose monetization techniques which are fast, flexible, and scalable. So the first one we're going to look at is affiliate marketing, one of the classics. Now, this essentially, in a nutshell, is when you promote someone else's product and you earn a commission for anyone who buys using your link. This could be 2% up to 20%, sometimes even more. Usually you'll get access to a dashboard where you can track clicks, commissions, etc. Now let's look at some examples of different accounts that are doing this in a great way. So here we have Practical Psychology, which is doing a great job, 156 posts, 1.1 million followers. Now essentially they post animations about psychology. And it's very simple. We can see in their bio, it's just an affiliate link, boom, straight to Amazon. They're going straight to the point. If I press that link, it'll take me to Audible, which is where you can have access to it for 3 months for free. And then I'm sure that they get a percentage of that. You can see that they've also pinned it in their pinned posts. And it's a simple model. All the traffic they're generating. So let's see. Wow, they're getting a lot of views. So all of that traffic comes here. There's nothing else to look at. Affiliate link, boom, press it, done. It's such a clean, simple model, and it can work very well if you're smart with it. And the beauty of it in a way is that you can just change it, try different ones very easily. So let's move over to another example. Okay, so here we have Maya Visuals. Now, essentially they are a filmmaker, photographer, and they have a great aesthetic profile. I think this is all in, is it Portugal? Well, I think it is. Incredible scenery. And if I press their link tree, find out more, you can see that if I go to where I get my music, this is a free trial for Music Bed. Look, start your 14-day free trial and then I'm sure that they'll get a percentage if I sign up. Now, this works great because he's talking about filmmaking, about photography, etc. And it just works well. So a lot of, enthusiasts will also be following his profile and may be interested. And it's just easy for him to have that in his link tree. Whatever account or audience you have, you just need to be smart with it. Don't start promoting, like for him, Rolex watches or sofas, because the audience really isn't going to care about that. You want to promote something which has relevance. Now, his Longevity Lab. So Longevity Lab, 420k followers on Instagram. Essentially, they are a faceless page. If I quickly press their link, you can see that here they've got a bunch of different products. I'm going to press here, Pure American, I don't even know how to pronounce that, non-fungible mushroom. Okay, so I'm sure that this is most likely or definitely an affiliate link. Let's see how much the product costs. £67 for one-time purchase. So that's like $80 or 80 something plus dollars. And if they're getting 5, 10, 20%, that's decent income just for having it there, considering how much traffic they get. Usually a quick tip is a lot of these websites, if you go all the way down to the bottom, you will see an affiliate kind of option. If you don't see it, so in this case, they don't have it. But if you got in touch with them and said, I have this account, I think our audience tie, then I'm sure that they'll have an affiliate link. At the end of the day, it's just free business. So this is affiliate marketing, a great way to build, test, if you test some products and then you can create your own. Once you know, okay, the audience really likes this. Be smart with your choice of monetization. That's affiliate marketing. Next up, we have another classic, and that is digital products. Now, digital products are honestly a revolutionary and one of the best ways to make money online, and no better place than with social media, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. One of the reasons they work so well is because they're pretty easy to set up, to distribute, no delivery, automatic. So it just makes life so much easier and you can test and provide value so easily. Now let's look at some really good examples that I have here. So here we have Modern Parents Guide. Now I know that some people, be like, oh, what kind of niche is that? But parenting is a huge niche. How many people are parents? A lot of people are parents. So here we have a faceless page, which is about parenting. They've done a great job. Go check it out if you want to. They have a Gumroad, simple $27 principles page guide to raise emotionally secure kids. Okay. And this just works well. Audience, they know the pain point, so they deliver on it. If they want to improve it, if they want to test different products, they can, because digital products give them that flexibility. You have loads of different platforms to sell digital products. You can use AI to create them, etc. But you need to be smart with it. Now, the next one is Wi-Fi Aesthetics, and they're making a lot of money each month. And this is one of my favorite faceless pages, which I do not own. This page has done a great job. They are making good money. I've spoken to them before. Let's have a look. So essentially, they have this super clean branding, and I'll speak about branding later in the video. Branding is a huge, important aspect of your business. If you want me to speak about branding in the future, let me know in the comments. But let's actually look at what they're doing. So let me press their page and you'll see this is all about unlocking your inner warrior. If I press claim yours now, the website is super clean, £16, which is like $20. And they've got different options. But this is, again, suited towards their audience. If I go on one of their posts, they sell it every time in their caption. The CTA is always there. The content is about what they're selling. The page has an identity. If you scroll down, obviously they've shifted over time. Evolution is great on this page, by the way. They've changed numerous times in terms of styles. You can see some repetition as well. I just want to scroll down just to show you one thing. Now you can see, as I've scrolled down, they used to have obviously this kind of warrior content, which is what got them into this branding. So as you can see, loads of warrior content. And then they made a shift where they started posting more well-known people. Boom, Conor McGregor, 35K. From there, it started a new era for them. This is a great example, great business, great way of selling digital products. Simple, but it's all branded, all presented well. and it's all professional. If you want me to talk about branding more, let me know. We're still on digital products because digital products is such a big one. But now we're going to focus on more creative design-based digital products. So here we have a great page where he does, artistic, cinematic content, and he's done a great job with it. Over 100,000 followers from that. But let's actually look at how he's monetizing. So I'm going to press this one, My Color Grade SFX. He obviously has an artistic style, cinematic style, and he's monetizing through that style. Some people who follow his page will be like, I like that content. That content is cool. How do I do that? They can purchase these design templates to help them do the same. This is just smart, easy digital product selling. Okay, so physical products. Now, this is one of the classics. And usually what this means is when you sell a product with your branding, with your personality. You can create t-shirts, mugs, so many different items. At the end of this segment, I'll put up a list of different physical products to get your mind thinking. But let's look at two great examples. So the first one right here is Library Mindset. Now, this is an Instagram page, faceless, 5.1 million followers, but they have done an insane job. Their physical product is a book, which suits their page. If I press their link, it goes to a Genius link, then Amazon. They are actually selling their own books. So you can see right here, Library Mindset, The Art of Laziness. Let's look at the reviews, 3,286. And let's bear in mind that virtually no one leaves a review. So they've sold a lot more than that. They're selling it for around £9 to £25, which is $12 to $30. So let's say on average, $18. You do the maths. They have done such a great job to integrate it into their profile. You can see that they started off as a faceless page with quotes, etc., but now actually record content of their book like this, and it works so well. It's such a smart tactic, and it's just a great way to make money. Don't sleep on physical products. Let's jump to the next physical product. Okay, the next one is this page right here on TikTok. This is Odd Animal Specimens. Now, they do have a YouTube channel as well. So this applies obviously to YouTube, as virtually all of them do. But essentially, they analyze odd specimens, and it's a super interesting page. You can see here they've got, I believe, is that real? Let's say it's a dead mini shark, and they analyze it. But essentially the page is branded very well. Everything is in sync. Pages like this, people memorize, people remember, people want to see their video when the video appears on their feed. And if I press their link, how they're monetizing, you'll see that they have merch, and it's all in sync with their profile. They've got the blue backgrounds on their TikTok, and then they've got this blue minimalistic aesthetic again. And something just really smart that they've done here, you'll see that the models up here at the top are adults. Whereas if we go down, they've got kids. So they understand their audience, that some kids might be watching this page. They might be asking their parents, I want to buy that t-shirt, I want to buy that jumper. And it just works well. Don't sleep on physical products. But one thing I really want to point out is branding. You'll see that branding is super important with virtually all products, but especially physical. If you want me to make a video about branding, let me know in the comments, because I really believe branding is like a hack for selling more online, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Let me know in the comments. Let's jump to the next one. The next one is service-based products. Now, this is how I really got into the faceless world, where I started creating pages so that I could sell my social media marketing service. This is a huge one because I know some of you that are watching right now have great skills, whether it's graphics design, whether it's editing, whatever it is, you could sell your service or your skill on social media. There's multiple ways to do this. Document your journey, showcase your skills. Let's look at, we all know Vloggery, we know I and Will. Their page is obviously a showpiece for them. And in their bio, they have business inquiries, get in touch. I'm sure that there's loads of people who are interested in working with them for content, and they just sell their editing. It's a very simple and easy model. Often, I think, why don't people do this more? This for them works definitely super well. It's something that I've done in the past as well. Now, let's look at another account. Here we have a designer and does content to showcase his skill. This is so important and useful to do because people want to see proof of concept. And if you're able to do that, then people are going to be interesting, and services, skills like this will make you good income. Here we have another one, a faceless page, DM for editing service. People know them for editing. So what do? They sell the editing. It's a simple business, guys. If you have a skill, if you're showcasing something, you can make money with it. Okay, so next up we have building a brand, personal or faceless. Creating a recognizable brand is one of the best ways to sell anything in this video and beyond, because people connect with it more. By developing that consistent personality, aesthetic, things sell more. Let's look at an example right here of Dr. Pickle. Now, if some of you have not seen this page, it is insane faceless page. I'm not going to play one of the videos because YouTube will mute me, but you can go check this out for yourself. But essentially, this is a animated character who speaks with swearing. It's pretty funny, but it's memorable. 120 posts, 2.4 million followers. And they've been able to monetize multiple different ways. Now they have their own app, which allows you to turn anything into a Dr. Pickle video. But before, they were actually monetizing as well with the actual character, where you could request for the character to say a birthday message, to say a message for a friend. You know, these are getting a lot of shares. So a lot of people will be sharing every single one to their best friend, etc. And maybe their birthday's coming up, so they'll get Dr. Pickle to say happy birthday, Sabrina, or whatever the person's name is. And they were making a lot of money from that. So for them to change to this now means that it's potentially making even more. They've been able to do that through the branding, being in people's minds. Brand, personal or faceless, is huge. If you're interested in me diving into personal branding, building a personal brand, let me know in the comments. Now, a personal brand, again, is like what I'm doing right now on my YouTube channel. Turning yourself into a personal brand allows you to share your expertise, your knowledge, your experience, and it allows you to connect with the world. For me personally, it's changed my life. For many years, I was working behind the scenes on faceless accounts with businesses, but as I've got into the YouTube world and put my personal brand out there, it's opened up a whole new way of living. And creating content is not easy, but it's highly profitable. You don't need to be an Instagram expert. You could be a teenager in a random situation. There is opportunity. There are niches that have so much potential, but people are just not willing to, you know, break free and speak in front of the camera. I remember when I first started with, YouTube and speaking in front of the camera, my videos were not as polished as they are now. I wasn't as confident. I didn't speak how I am now. I just speak much slower, much quieter. But now I speak with my chest because I've done it so many times. So, we all start somewhere. I won't dive into personal brand much more in this video. If you want me to make a separate video for that, let me know in the comments, as it's definitely something that anyone can do. Next up, we have sponsorships. Now, sponsorships are one of the easiest ways for anyone to make money, no matter what type of account you have. But there are a few things you need to do first. You need to make sure that your account is professional. Essentially, what a sponsorship is when a business that is out there wants to advertise their product via your page or your brand. And if your brand or page doesn't look professional, just doesn't fit the guidelines, they won't ever contact you. They won't ever be interested. So you need to really take care. And that's why branding is so important. With sponsorship, anyone can get sponsored. Faceless accounts that get sponsored. There are personal brands. Some of my videos have been sponsored. Sponsorship is something that you attract. I'm not going to sit here and say, you need to go out there and message 500 people, because honestly, it's not going to work that well. And I think there are other methods in this that you should be focusing your time on. Sponsorship is about presenting your brand to the world. Organically, sponsorship deals will come to you. Trust me, if you really care, whether you're personal, faceless brand, whatever it is, if you really want to get sponsorship deals, think about the businesses in your niche. Why would they go to your page? Simply because you got 100,000 views on a meme doesn't mean anything. People aren't stupid. Businesses want to make money. So be smart with how you present your business. In the description, I will share a resource to help you identify some sponsorship deals, to calculate your rates, etc. I'll give you a resource. It will be in my vault. Okay, so the next one is app creation. Now, you might be thinking, apps, that's too complicated. Well, we're living in an age where everything has become so much easier with the power of AI. I'm not going to jump in and tell you how to create an app because that's a whole different video. And if that's something that's interesting, let me know in the comments. To create apps, you can honestly create an app in a day or two, especially what I'm about to show you, where you create a prototype MVP market viable product, which means you create something which is not complete and then you test it by releasing it. Let me show you this page right here. Holy Lifts. So this is a personal brand, although this could easily be done faceless as well. And essentially this is a page for Christians where he shares 3 signs God is speaking to you in this season. What he has done is created an app. So his CTA call to action is connect with believers and get instant biblical answers to any questions. So I'm going to press here, the cross talk, uncover biblical insights, a new way to engage with the Bible. And essentially I can just download the app via any of these methods and it gives me some context about what the app does. The app, I'm not going to say it's not good or bad. I'm going to say obviously can be improved, but it's great that it's been released. And also he's only got 50,000 followers and he's building it. The website is super clean, essentially got over 100,000 users. It's super smart to go down this path. Judging by this, it's maybe not too complicated to create, but what matters is that he identifies a need and provides a solution. Apps are huge. Anyone can do them. You just need to apply yourself and not try to design an app that is going to rival Amazon. You know, obviously you can, but that's going to take a long time. Create something simple, test it in the market and go from there. App is an option for you. The next one is websites. Now, websites in this age are so much easier to create than a few years ago. And we have no excuse. In a matter of minutes, with so many companies, you can create a website. This is not sponsored, so I'm not going to sell you anything, but you get the point. Let me show you a page on why websites work so well. Website isn't something that you need to complicate. So here we have a daily horoscope page. Now, you might be not interested in this. I'm not, but it's a great example of what a website can do and a simple business. So essentially they're catering to an audience. They understand what the audience wants. So if I press their website, I will be presented with this website. And you can see there are ads on this website. There are different things that they're selling. So a website is almost part of the funnel where you can put additional things. Ads, if you get a lot of traffic on a website, you can make a lot from ads passively, or you can have multiple different products. When you have traffic on a website, there are multiple ways to monetize. You can have a newsletter building, you can have ebooks. There's just so many different options, but ultimately you can see at the bottom, I mean, that's not the best advert right there, but you can see that there's ads. So not only are they converting people to whatever offers they are running ads. Don't sleep on websites. They're super easy to actually set up. Okay, so the next one is paid communities and coaching, which is obviously a very popular one. Most people are selling something. It's actually a great way to monetize. And you might think, well, I don't have expertise, how am I going to monetize there? Often with coaching, with communities, you have to be an expert or something like that. When in fact you don't. Like we previously discussed, it's about branding. It's about providing a solution. Now, I'm going to show you an example of one of my students who has a calisthenics page. So here we can see we have Calisthenics Dopamine, who is part of Faceless Capital, one of my school communities, paid communities. And he's done a great job with this page, 229 posts, 300,000 followers. And if I press his link tree, he's obviously got a few things, but if I press here, master the hands stand at home, it will bring up his school community. And you can see here, 103 members, $7 a month. So this is an option, even if you're faceless, if you're new to a market. It's all about pricing range. If you're selling something for below $20, $30, then you don't necessarily need to have loads of content in there. It can be more of a networking type community. So if you have people that like dogs, Dobermans, if you have people that care about health, like if you want to provide more value, courses, etc., then obviously you can increase the price. You can get more to mid-ticket. It's a great way to earn extra income or to really focus on it. Paid communities are a great option and anyone can do them. For myself, I have Faceless Capital, which I charge $97 a month, but that's more of my low ticket offer, but it's got insane value, 15 plus hours of content, weekly sessions. There's so much in there and it can work for anyone. You don't need to be an expert. You just want to provide something that people want. and need. Paid communities with coaching. There is also the high ticket, which is coaching more one-on-one, etc., like a mentorship program, which I do have, and it's in the description of this video. That's also another option. If you are a calisthenics guy, if you are a health brand, if you are an influencer for fitness or a style of fitness, yoga, there's always opportunity. It's about how you package and it's how you build your funnel, and I'll make more videos about this in the future. Let's move over to the next one. Okay, so next up we have selling courses or info products. Now you might think this is similar to the others. Well, it's slightly different. Here we have a page called ONAYS652. This is a creative page. They make creative faceless content. It's personal brand as well. They have done a great job with their branding, with everything that they're doing. If I go to their stand store and see what course that they are selling a $899 course, and then they have a $1,499 course, because people will be interested because they can see proof of concept on the page. And it's similar for a lot of different businesses. We spoke about it in the service space. There's so much opportunity when you have skill and proof of work and you've branded and built something unique. So many people are trying to just copy and create boring profiles, whether it's personal, faceless. The ability to stand out gives you an opportunity to differentiate yourself and sell more expensive products. Courses can also be super simple and less expensive. There's just a whole range out there. You don't need to be like a super expert to make it happen. You can use AI to help you. Always do try to provide as much value as you can. Okay, so the next one is, drumroll, one of my favorite, newsletter. Now, newsletter should be part of everyone's strategy. A newsletter is such a great way to make sure that you have control of your audience. We create YouTube channels, TikTok, Instagram, but we don't own that audience. One day TikTok might get banned, you never know. So you want to take your audience elsewhere, because if you come to a position where you have to create an Instagram and you haven't yet, and you've been on TikTok, you can notify your audience, I'm moving here, and it gives you a head start, gives you control of your audience. But not only that, it allows you to monetize in multiple different ways, which we're going to cover. Now, here I have an example of a theme page, faceless page called Mindset Mirage. They've done a great job, classic motivational page. They have a beehive. So if I press their link, still stuck in the same habits, it's not a lack of motivation, it's a broken system. And then I can press the email and I'll subscribe to their list. And essentially now they have my email, so they can send me sales emails, they can nurture me and turn me into eventually a paying customer, which is everyone's goal. This is about building more connection with your audience. Another one, which is a great example, is Evolving AI. This is a great page on Instagram as well, which again is a classic 3 million. I will press join newsletter right here, and you can see again, join over 2 million plus communities, AI insights. They're going to be making a ton just from running this newsletter. Sponsorships, affiliate links, selling their own products. Let's take a moment, because sometimes I wonder why people don't do newsletters, or why they think maybe it's too hard or it's not worth it. Trust me, it's a no-brainer. I have some videos on my channel about newsletters. If you want me to make more, let me know. I actually forgot to mention, I actually do have my own newsletter with over 50,000 readers. The link is in the description. So next up, following on emails, we have selling email lists. Now, believe it or not, you can actually sell email lists, and they go for a lot of money. When I mean a lot, look into it. Basically, an email list for a big business is worth a lot of money, because they can start to advertise, they can nurture, and an email marketing team is like gold dust. You know, if you give them 50,000 emails, wow. You could be in the health brand right now. You could be in the fitness brand. You could be in multiple different niches where your audience is so valuable. The higher purchasing, the higher tier your audience is, the more worthwhile your emails are going to be. You might be thinking, is this against the law, etc.? No. If you set up your emails in the right way, then you can sell your email list. If you want me to dive into it more, then let me know. There has been email lists that sell for millions, if not more. But even a smaller email list with a few thousand can be worth something. And the beauty of all of this, as I mentioned even in previous points, you know, you can passively build an email list with a few freebies, even from an earlier account at 0 followers. You can start building that email list. Key point here with this, you're building an asset that you can monetize yourself, that, you know what, I'm going to sell it, because you were smart. You didn't just let the views go to waste. Okay, so now we're on phase 3. So now it's about leverage and ownership. And this is where I believe true wealth actually starts. Because you can have all these methods, but how do you turn them into an engine? Now, essentially, this is about building a system which guides people to purchase your product. So this is like a system. Let's think of it like a river. You have a boat, you put someone on it, and then you send them down the river. And by the end, they reach the destination of buying one of your products. And this is where we take monetization to the next level. And we call this funnels and email monetization. So one of the classic examples is offering a freebie. So you offer a freebie and then people will sign up to your newsletter and then they will enter a sequence. If you want to test this out for yourself, I have a freebie in the description. Now, the next point of this video, and I've left it until last because this is a new series for me, and it's the monetization series, which will be a new playlist on my channel because I've made so many videos about growing and I still will. But what's the point of growing if we're not building a business? We're not turning those views into income. So for me, for the direction of this channel, this is going to be a big thing coming up. The next point is important. So stay tuned. This is where everything ties together. Okay, so the final one is my favorite and where everything comes together. This is monetization stacking. The smartest businesses, smartest creators, faceless brands, personal brands, they don't just sell one product. And this is the concept of stacking. Like me, I have my newsletter, mentorship, I have info products, multiple different angles, and I'm forever expanding, testing, improving. Now let's look at this YouTube channel right here. Here we have something that I'm not going to pronounce that some of you may laugh. And you can see they have multiple different links. They've got Patreon, they've got books, they've got their website, they've got their social media links. This is essentially catering to multiple different people. But when you have the right amount of traffic, anything is possible. They have affiliates, they have physical products. You can see right here that they have multiple different ways of monetizing. They have their book, Patreon, PayPal, Amazon, merchandise. The list literally goes on. And when you're in a position where you can build a business like this is the best way to be. That's why at the beginning of the video, when I mentioned about the views, etc., that's only part of the puzzle where everyone is often just fixated on. Here we have another Instagram page called Break the Cycle, which is again doing the exact same thing. If I press their link, I scroll down, I've got YouTube, I've got newsletter, I've got podcast, I've got merch, I've got videos, I've got blog. There's just multiple different options. And this is when you start to build a system. This is when you start to build a funnel, when multiple aspects start coming together. I will be talking about stuff like this more and more. Here we have another one, which I'm going to go through real quick. Growth of mind. She has her book, she has affiliate links, she has multiple different things going on. Book a discovery call. This is how we need to build our businesses in a smart way. It takes effort. If you're lazy, then it's going to be difficult. But people who are passionate, that put in the effort, are going to make things happen. This is a new series monetization playlist on my channel where I'm going to be really focusing on how views can become income. I'm at a point in my life where what's the point of doing anything without intention? And there were a lot of points in my life where I was maybe doing what you're doing, where it's creating videos, yes, I got 1 million views, but what does that 1 million views actually do? Okay, nothing. I remember when I first hit my 100K, I was like, okay, but I've still got 20 pounds in my bank. We don't want to be like that. Okay, we want to build systems. We want to understand how to monetize. We want to be strategic. So that's why this is going to be a big part of my channel going forward. Of course, I'll be talking about growth, everything as well, but with intent, with purpose. Obviously, at the end, I spoke about monetization, stacking, but start with one, test one. These creators with multiple, they obviously started somewhere. This is where they are now. Now, if you are interested, need help building your business, I have mentorship, a school community. My free resources are in my newsletter. If you have questions, you want me to create a video based on something, let me know in the comments. I try to reply to as many questions as I can. If you like this style of video, also let me know, and I greatly appreciate a like and subscribe. Remember, we all start somewhere, and you have the ability to turn a view into money if you take action. Let's make it happen. My name is Alex. Let's grow.